Welcome everyone to the next session in the technology and innovation strand. I can see there are still people coming in the room, but I thought I'd just say hello and do a quick housekeeping before we get started. I know there are people joining from different parts of the world. We had lots of people from Asia in the morning, and I think we're going to get more from the other side, from South America, this afternoon. So welcome wherever you're joining us from. Delighted to have you here. My name is Alison. I work for Trinity as the head of business development in the UK and Ireland. And we are delighted to introduce this next session, cleverly called Artiemotional Intelligence. And delighted to introduce our speaker, Mariana Hidalgo, who is joining us from Argentina. Mariana has a lot of experience, over 20 years of experience working as a translator, a teacher trainer, and also holds an MA in applied linguistics. She's currently an academic consultant for several educational institutions, leading research and innovation projects, and also teacher training. And she has a keen interest in the social and emotional dimension of language learning and teaching. So we are delighted to have Mariana with us today. If I could ask you, you're welcome to kind of comment in the chat, feedback, anything is fine. But if you do have a specific question that you would like Mariana to answer, I would suggest putting it in the Q&A box, and I will join Mariana towards the end, about 5 minutes towards the end, to pick up any questions that anyone has. So I'm going to pass over to you, Mariana, and let you take it away.
Oh, thank you everyone for being here this day. I will start by sharing the agenda that it is. Let me see. We will deal with the basis or foundation of our teaching training programs, how we introduce artificial intelligence into our project, and then we will share some practical examples or tips for you to apply it in the sessions or the classes that you may have. So stay there. Because we will share some practical examples. And I am going to start by the second part, the emotional part, and what emotional intelligence is. I think that it is the capacity for recognizing our own feelings and those of others, for motivating ourselves and for managing emotions well in ourselves and also in our relationships. Goleman recognizes 5 dimensions. There are self-awareness, which is related to recognizing and being able to name our feelings. Motivation, which is the ability to keep going despite failures. Self-regulation, that is the way we handle our emotions to avoid negative effects. Empathy, which is the ability to read the emotions of others. And finally, social skills, it is connected with being sensitive to the feeling of others and handling them to build positive relationships. In institutions, or in education, it applies to teachers, the institution, and students by promoting academic success while reducing anxiety and negative feelings during their learning process. It is about understanding behavioral patterns. I'm sorry. So as we have much research on negative emotions, we decided to turn to positive psychology and the results of applying it to our teaching training programs. So we work on how to foster teacher well-being. We have been working on PERMA elements and also hero elements. They are positive The first one, the PERMA model, Martin Seligman model, is connected with the P that stands for positive relationship, E that stands for engagement, relationship, the M for meaning, and A for achievement or accomplishment. This model emphasizes the importance of cultivating positive relationship, engaging in activities that bring joy and absorption, on fostering relationship, finding meaning and purpose in the tasks that we normally do, and also striving for personal achievement or accomplishment. According to this theory, by focusing on these elements, we can enhance well-being and overall happiness. And we have been working on hero elements, that is the acronym for hope, efficacy, resilience, and optimism. Hope that it is connected with one believes that our goals can be reached. Efficacy that it is connected with one's confidence that we can succeed in various situations or tasks that we may have. Resilience, which is the ability to bounce back, to reach goals, even in the face of setbacks or challenges. And finally, optimism, that is one's positive expectation that current and future events or conditions will work out for the best. If you you can find more information on this project, Teacher Wellbeing, by scanning this QR code or typing Flourishing Teacher and Flourishing School, and you will be redirected to the 7 future English language teaching held by Trinity and Regent University 2 years ago. And so our training sessions were focused on teachers' strengths, on fostering growth mindset in students, to work as a group, as an organization, relying on mentoring and peer coaching. Head teachers and leaders could give the staff the autonomy or the possibility of choosing their own professional development courses. And we have been working on workshops on time and emotional management, and I can guarantee that it was fantastic. And then we have the second step, because it was a two-pronged program that it was based on foreign language enjoyment, which is the feeling of excitement or joy derived from participating in a novel and challenging foreign language activity that is called the affective component, which arouses learners' curiosity and generates interest, that it is called the cognitive component. According to Jean McDowell and Peter McIntyre, foreign language enjoyment has a great power to strengthen both extrinsic and intrinsic motivation to learn a foreign language. So our training sessions were focused on how to develop this motivation and make lessons more enjoyable and engaging. So we gave our teachers some tips and some elements to include fantastic, exotic, novel, intriguing elements into their lessons, to make classes more challenging and interesting by combining with the personal element of their students, to show outcome, because language learning is a long way, and students need to see outcomes in the middle of that process, and to include humor in the lessons. All this has created a positive atmosphere, which is essential for learners to grow and develop and, of course, and learn. Okay, and now in the middle of all these projects, something new appeared, or at least it was news for us, that it is called artificial intelligence, which in simple terms can be defined as the use or a study of computer systems or machines that have some of the quality that human brain has. For example, the ability to interpret and produce or translate language in a way that seems human, recognize or create images, solving problems, and learn from data that it was supplied to them. And at first my question was, wow, how will this affect education, and in particular, how will this affect our project, our emotion project that we have been working on. After learning a lot about artificial intelligence, the difference between generative AI and discriminative, and how to write prompt correctly, we were able to include it into the training sessions so that our teachers could use it and have the students use it as well. And I included this slide because I would like to tell you that we have been working on AI from two different perspectives. A, for use by teachers, that it is for planning, grading, and teaching, and B, for students to use it ethically and responsible in class. And as I mentioned before, with the additional and challenging factor of having to combine it with our project of emotions and 21st century skills. So I will provide one example per dimension, the one that we have seen at the very beginning of the presentation. And because though there were many activities in total that we have done. So here we wanted to revise some adverb of frequency in an oral activity and include a task that makes the students reflect on their emotions. Instead of the typical question that like, how often do you go to the gym or how often do you take English lessons? Therefore, I asked the chat for a table with adverb of frequency and their corresponding emotion question. The chat gave me this table, the one that we are looking right now, but I realized that it may be a little bit complicated. For that reason, I asked for a simple one. Here you can see that I asked for a simpler activity. And I included this because this is important. You can ask the chat to rephrase or rewrite if you don't get what you want, if you don't like the result that it gives. So because it is a chat, so you can have a conversation as its names indicates. So after that, I had the version I wanted, which is in this case, it has 12 questions. And what we have here is a kind of summary of the activities that we have done. We wanted to revise adverb of frequency, and develop at the same time reading, speaking, writing, and listening skills. So our students completed the survey. They had a Q&A time, and I am going to explain in a few seconds how. They transformed the information, all the information that they gather into a text, and then they transform it into a podcast. So let's see in detail. The students fill out their grid individually and added a follow-up question. So they have all the questions and they had to add a follow-up question. Then they exchanged the surveys and we did a Q&A question type taking notes. So the follow-up questions were asked and the answers were written. Using their cell phones, they transform all the information into a text using their cell phones and WhatsApp. And then we did this, we transform all this information into a podcast. And how did we do this? Using artificial intelligence, and you will see in real time how easy and fast it is to use this kind of website. So you can go to Podcastle here, and then this screen will appear that it is, here it says audio editor, and then you have to go to convert text to speech, and here you will be here, text editor, and you copy and paste the text, and let's see in real time how fast it happens. So I had already copied the text and I pasted it there, and you select the voice of the podcast, listened.
Hey, your story deserves to be heard and I can help bring it to life.
And once you have checked everything, that has to do with the voice. You press generate, and then the audio will come up in a couple of seconds. Let's see how it works. I record
Alex often feels happy finding joy in daily activities and positive interactions with others. He sometimes feels stressed, particularly in situations involving a heavy workload or tight deadlines.
So you can export the file and download to your computer, and it is quite easy and fast.
Alex often feels happy finding joy in daily activities and positive interactions with others. He sometimes feels stressed, particularly in situations.
Okay, and you can listen to it on Spotify because it is open immediately. So let me see my notes so that I cannot forget. Once we have all the audios, the teacher anonymously sends the file and they have to guess who the speaker is talking about. And it was very fun to watch them guess which classmate it was. So I am going to show how we did. Here we send the audios for them to guess, and finally they had to write a report. But I love this activity because we could work on self-awareness. They could recognize and think about their feelings. They work collaboratively by making anonymous podcasts. They guess who the students were by listening to them. We also develop empathy because they could understand how their peers feel and comprehend other emotions. And this is just a kind of summary to remind you that we have been working on reading, speaking, writing, and listening skills. And here it is a very short video for you to see how we work. There will be 6 students, but we have been working with larger classes as well, so it works with larger classes. So let's see how we did this. They completed the survey.
I rarely, because I what did you like? Would you like that?
And here they copy all the information.
Hear about how often it noticed her. He feels it is no hard to recognize them.
Variety of words that we can know can be expanded, and also the emotional part is really important. I think that
it was hard for me to realize how my emotions were my.
And of course, we asked them afterwards how they felt. For example, this girl told us that it was very difficult for her to realize how their emotions, her emotions were. Okay, let me explain you this domain self-regulation. First, I'm going to show what the teacher could do with the new ChatGPT version. We needed to revise some theoretical materials on self-regulation, but in this case, not in terms of emotions, but in terms of self-regulated learning. So the teacher uploaded it and asked the chat to summarize, to give a summary of all the things that she needed to read. And again, let's see how fast it is. So here it is the ChatGPT, but you can also work with any. I tried this, and you upload the PDF or the document that you may have, and you ask the chat, "Can you give me a summary?" And in a matter of seconds, you will get the material summarize, and here including the framework, the introduction, and all the things. But this is something that I wanted to include because teachers can use it before the class, and we will see how. That's why I wrote here AI for teachers, because at the very beginning we have explained that we have been working from to this different perspective. So, and here we ask the chat to provide a table with 3 different questions for each skills of this exam to help students be aware of their learning progress, to understand what they've learned, to identify what they need to improve and recognize the importance of being responsible when preparing for this familiar international exam. And we, in this particular situation, the chat gave us two options for us to choose, and we had questions like what strategies they use to figure out the meaning of unfamiliar words, if they allocate time or regular time to focus on practice reading, and how they did. So we use this table. Let me see. We use this table to make a quick presentation. And with Gamma AI, we prepare a presentation just by copying the question that the chat has given to us in a couple of minutes. So we are going to see at what happens in real time. So here we have the same questions, and we press continue. We select the template because you can choose colors and formats. And here you have the presentation in just a couple of seconds. And it was very curious to us because in the final slide, the presentation gave us some tips and advice for the students to have in mind. And here it says to stay motivated. And well, it was very fun for us to realize that it also included some tips. Keep practicing exam preparation and that lifelong learning is important, and to keep or stay motivated. And we could plan this activity in seconds. And this is the real class. Here you can see the presentation that I have just shown. Okay, and let's see how
to read and take notes. Answer: yes, no, not so much. Yes, try to. Well, the tracking progress. This is something that we are doing, as I said. So you can answer yes. You track the process, right? Okay, good. Can we move on?
Okay, and in this way, you can get a personalized lesson that, for example, in this case, we wanted to make our students be aware of how important it is to be in charge of their own learning. And in a group discussion, they talk about how responsible they were with their learning. Also, they could share tips on how they do these kind of activities, and when they have homework, for example, and when they do all these things in class. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about motivation, the third domain. Well, you know how important it is to be motivated when learning. With this activity, I want to show you how a simple activity like creating phases that do not exist can give us a twist to teach or revise a topic. In this case, description of character, but the children have to go to this website that it is called, and here I included AI for students because we use it with them in class, using artificial intelligence in class. So they created their own characters. And you can go to this website that it's called This Person Does Not Exist. And this is very simple to use. I am going to show you in a few seconds. So here you can choose the gender, also the age and the ethnicity. And let's see how fast. All my screen shots are in real time, were recorded in real time. And here you press refresh image and you get the face or the things that you need. And then you can download again to your computer and have the characters. And let me show you, you can go further and give these people a voice, because with Lalami Studio, you only have to select the photo you want to animate and write the script. We didn't do this kind of activity with the group of the students that you will see in a couple of seconds, but we did it with another one and it was fantastic. That's why I wanted to include it. Also here, once you are in Canva, you can look for this app that it is called Lalamute Studio and make the characters talk. So let's see how. So here you press the app, and then it is so simple because you have to do like this. You have to upload the photo. Here it says upload video, but you can upload photo. In this case, I chose a cartoon of mine, and then you enter the text that you want your character to say, and you can preview. Well, here it says preview speech, but you can listen first.
Hello, my name is Mariana. Welcome to this presentation. Welcome to this presentation.
And you generate the voice in just in a moment, because it is all these were recorded, as I said before, in real time. And you can get the voice. So the voice is generated in high fidelity audio with tonal inflections to sound naturally, and you can do it in any language. So let's listen to the photo that we have already got.
Welcome to the Future of English Language Teaching Conference.
Okay, and we will see now how the teacher work this activity with kids, because we wanted to include some activities for teen, and here
He hasn't got long hair. He hasn't got accessories. Finish. Excellent.
He has accessories.
and the students enthusiastically work on the description of the character because they were their own character. They used sentences with have got in the negative, in the affirmative. We were surprised because they even ask each other questions using have got. Has your character got blue eyes? And it was a fantastic activity for them and for us, because it was very motivating for them. All these activities that I am showing, we gave our teacher in the teaching training programs or the courses. We taught our teacher how to use all these platforms. And here a little bit about empathy. With empathy, we have been working with AI buddies that can chat with children, answer questions, and engage them in playful activities, fostering communication, social skills, and by providing a safe space to explore emotions and empathy. Through interactive games and content that might involve scenarios or characters with emotions, but because this is the app that we use, I am going to show you, can help children develop important cognitive and emotional skills in a fun and engaging way. So once you are in the app, that it is called BAT, and this is our character, you have to write the name of the students, of the name you want to give, BAT is going to say hi and the name, and I am going to show you what we did. So what is your name? I chose my nickname, that it is Mari, and BAT is going to say hello or hi Mari, and what we were supposed to do. So here you can select the name and the age of your students, and also I think that the gender as well. Yes.
Hi Mari, I'm Bots. I'm gonna be your friend and embark on adventures with you. Today I'm planning to go to the dino world and see how dinos were born. To join me, tap on compass. Then, there were the carnivores, the meat eaters. They had sharp teeth designed to help them chomp on other dinosaurs or fish. They were the hunters of the prehistoric world.
Okay, and in this activity, they were working on dinosaurs, their types, whether they were carnivorous or not. What would happen if a herbivorous, for example, would eat eating meat, and many other things that we have been working with AI companion. We didn't work only with bots. I think that we have been working with many, I can't remember now the names, but we have been working with many AI companions, and they were eager to participate. They say, is a bot coming today? And we used this app for many classes. And in this case, I want to show you something that is connected with social skill. In this activity, students, well, I am going to show you. In this activity, the students wrote a text, a typical task that they should or they are supposed to do. Like, for example, in this case, I thought that it was, yes, an essay. And they work, they develop their collaboration and communicational skills. So they first they wrote the text. They asked the chat to give the correction, and after that they have to say if they agree or disagree with the chat corrections. And then they share oral in an oral class their reflections. And what we wanted to show you here, that apart from working what they need, that is to say, in this case, writing essays, they develop their critical thinking and communication skills. And this is another group of teens, but I wanted to show you how we can combine artificial intelligence to develop all the things that we have been working on, because it was our main, and it is our main project. We have been doing a variety of activities using AI. This has helped us to maintain interest and accommodate different approaches to learning, and also individual learning styles, because we could get, or you can get, personalized lessons. We use artificial intelligence to get some ideas for icebreaker, warmers, mingle activities that help students get to know each other and also promote interest in the lessons if they are related to the topic. And here I want to show you that we can use it as well to give feedback. So let me show you my next slide. Here you have to select the grade level of English, not level of English, level of education. And then a student pronoun. Here I chose to write Carol, but you can write he, she, or whatever you need to include here, and the area of strengths and areas for growth. So let's see, in this case, she has a well knowledge of grammar and vocabulary, but she needs to work a little bit more on her confidence while speaking. So you press generate, and you get the report card comments. But in my next slide, I wanted to show you how important it is to have, let's add here, because here it is important to highlight that the teacher judgment or criterion is crucial, because artificial intelligence is not perfect. For example, in this case, I entered the name of a female student, but when the chat gave me the feedback, it uses their ability instead of her. So that I included this slide for you to know that we have, any time that you use artificial intelligence, we have to bear in mind that our criterion is going to prevail. And here, well, and in this slide, I want to show you that we can use artificial intelligence for many activities. We use it to get some ideas on brainstorming and discussion, because it encourages the sharing of knowledge and opinions. Also role plays and simulation. Here, what we did was they have to learn some vocabulary words, and we asked the chat to give some dialogues, including all the things or the words that they need to learn. And it was fantastic because they act and they could be characters and they choose their names. We also have been using artificial intelligence to get group work activities because it encourages cooperation. All the members have to contribute and have the same outcome in class. This activity, I love collaborative writing because we ask them, the students were given some characters name and scenarios, and they have to ask the chat to give. We divided the class into 3 different teams, and the first one has to ask the chat to give the introduction of the story. The second group has to work with this introduction and ask for the middle of the story, and the third group has been working with the end, and hilarious stories appear, and they enjoyed collaborative writing in this way. And we also have been working on project work to group completion of assessed and unassessed projects, also encourage cooperation. I think that the main key functions of artificial intelligence throughout this period that we have been working is using practical lessons and game to boost the student engagement. It is important that we teach as our educators how to use it ethically, and ensuring data privacy, develop personalized lesson plan, because it was very useful for us to have this type of personalized classes. Provide personalized feedback because and efficient grading, because as we know, it is very important for students to have feedback when they work or when they do any activity. And implement free and low-cost AI tools in the classrooms. We have been using our screens and cell phones in all these activities. These are all some of the apps that I show, podcasts, and that you can also make videos and interviews, because it allows you to have podcasts, but you can have videos as well. Activities connected with ChatGPT or Gemini, which is the chat that belongs to Google. We use for presentation, we use Gamma AI. Then the website that it is called This Person Does Not Exist, the activity that we have done with little kids. Lalamu.studio to give our characters voice. And for feedback, you can use many platforms, but I chose Magic School. But we have EduGPT, you can have megaprofit.es. There are many platforms to work on feedback and to get administrative work, lesson planning. Highlink, there is another website that it goes Highlink, and which is fantastic to get some lesson plan. And in the final slide, you can find some of the references that I used to prepare this presentation. And I also include this artificial intelligence platform because I use it to cite something that it is called Cite This For Me. And here you can see how we did for citing. So you copy and paste the link. You press search there, and you can get the way of citing all this material. Let me see. And here you can have the materials and all the things that we have been working. So I hope you like the presentation. I wanted to show you how we can use artificial intelligence and combine all the things. I want to thank to my coordinator, Marina Tingeli and Gabi Bouvet, and also to the authorities of our teaching training college, Alberto Villarengo and Carolina Ravelo. So, and of course, to Trinity and Regent University for inviting me to share some views and thoughts on AI.
Oh, that was brilliant, Mariana. Thank you. There were so many positive comments through the chat as you were going on, and I think what's so lovely is the really concrete examples of using all of these tools that really kind of bring it all to life and showing the impact that it had on the learners. So I enjoyed watching a lot of those video clips and the students enjoying themselves too. So very, very inspiring, as somebody has said in the chat. There are a couple of questions, and I'll deal with these. We've got about 5 minutes for questions. Um, this I think you've kind of touched on this, but maybe just to kind of expand on this comment um, around AI being kind of assisting in language or doing the work for the learners. And I think you've given some examples of how it kind of feeds into what they're doing in the classroom. But anything that you can comment about? We had a session earlier today, the same kind of thing of kind of harnessing the power of AI to use it as a tool for a springboard to further learning. But and I'm sure in all of your experience that's your point of view. But any comments that you would have back to that attendee?
I am very positive on AI because I think that it has come to stay. Nobody can imagine a world without the internet now. And I think that the same is going to happen with artificial intelligence. So we need to welcome this and use it to make advantage of it. We could see that it has very positive effects on teachers and also in our students, because it could reduce time when preparing our lessons, as we have seen, and also the way the students react to these new tools for or a way of working. And I think that it is going to be positive. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have to have many things into account. That, for example, as I was saying before, ensuring data privacy, keeping up. I think that one of the most challenging aspect of artificial intelligence is keeping up also with the rapid pace of artificial development. Also the environmental impact it has some issues. I recommend watching Vicky Saumel's plenary session at IATEFL, that she had a fantastic talk talking about artificial intelligence, and she posed many questions that we need to follow and to think about when using it.
Brilliant. Yeah, very good. Right, I'm just going to pick up. There's a couple of things of how teachers have reacted, but you kind of touched on that, and I think it's kind of intertwined, right? You see the motivation from your learners, and that as a teacher probably motivates you to want to learn more and do more with AI. Anyway, they're all related, aren't they?
All related,
So,
and
yeah.
also our teachers, when we gave the tips, we shared the tools, they were wow, because they have learned how to use it, how fast they can get some material for their classes. And they ask, we have been working last year, and because in South America we start the academic year in March, but we have been working throughout 2023 and also this. And in this year particularly, they asked for the second round of this training session, and it was fantastic.
That's good. That's brilliant. Just one other question here, and then I think we'll wrap up because we're coming to the end here. How has the role of the teacher in providing feedback changed now that students can use AI to correct their written texts? Now, you did touch on feedback towards the end there, but I think that's kind of an interesting question. It's like, well where do we go now that somebody else can do it for someone? a thing.
I
Do it
think
for
that
us.
that
Yeah.
she meant. I think that she meant something connected with cheating because they I think, or I understood that, but we try to teach our students to use it ethically, not to submit any work that artificial intelligence has done and writing their names. We explain to them that it is for example, in the international exam, they are not allowed to have their cell phone. So and we work, for example, in class, we write in papers, but this is important for it. This is an interesting question because we have to learn, we have to teach them, how to use it in an ethical way. And so far we have been working in a good way.
Very good. And I would kind of related to that. There was an earlier session by Aida, and that was earlier this morning. It was the Single Parent Educator's Guide, Empowering Teaching Excellence with AI Integration. And to the person who asked that question, that might be an interesting session to watch if you've only joined us this afternoon, to go and watch that recording. There's a lot of, in terms of tools and practical application, this session and that session were very useful. They were different, but very useful sessions to watch. Okay,
I wanted to include practical website or practical tips
yes.
for them to use, because sometimes we can get lost in theory. I included at the very beginning the basis of our teaching training programs, but because I consider that it was important to know that we connect all this with our emotions project. So that's why the presentation is called Artiemotional Intelligence.
Which is great. Yeah, and it absolutely makes sense. But definitely, thank you, Mariana. It was a pleasure having you again this year. Really interesting. I think lots of people got so many ideas out of that and things that they can start to explore in their own teaching. So really, really practical. Thank you.